Alright, so today I thought we would talk about living in London as students. If you're new to this channel, my name is Maria and I've been living in the UK for 3 years and I'm currently a student. This is my friend Thomas, who also goes to the same university as I do and has also been living in the UK for 3 years. And today we thought we were going to talk about what it's like to live in the UK and specifically in London as students. And for those of you who don't know, Thomas and I actually live together right now. We rent a flat together, so we're flatmates. Alright, I think I'll start. When I first moved back to London after I lived in Russia for a while, I stayed in student accommodation from my university. I hated it. I hated that experience in general. I really hated it. I mean, student accommodation I think is for a very specific type of people. Well, it's for people who don't really have a choice, I guess. And also for people who like to party. I'm not that person. I wanted to just chill. You remember, you came to visit me a couple times.
Yeah.
In my student halls. It was not a great experience.
It's extremely annoying because all the time people are just passing by, talking, screaming, playing some loud music, and even if you want to do something, it's impossible because pretty much you never have the privacy you have in the private flats.
Yeah, you're always around other people, most of whom you don't really like.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah, and they're all very dirty, so...
Oh yeah,
if you have OCD...
I mean, not even. I don't have OCD. I just hated it in general.
Yeah.
It was bad.
So my experience was that I had a chance to get student halls, but I decided that the price for single room with shared bathroom is way too big.
I mean, actually, yeah, like you would think that student halls are cheaper than getting a flat, but I pay less here renting the flat that we do now than I did in my student halls.
Yeah, and basically if you rent a room, it's gonna be much cheaper than having a single room. You can have double room, you can have half of your flat for the same price, so it's just more relevant for you.
So at the time that I was living in student halls, you were renting a room?
Yeah, I was renting a room in a house, which was actually located in a nice area, but the only bad thing about that experience is that the house had 10 more tenants. So...
I did not know that.
Whatever.
There were 11 people living?
Yeah, 11 people in the house.
How big was the house?
The house was actually not that big.
Was that private?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that was a private. It's also kind of illegal because they're not paying any taxes, they're not...
So they're basically like illegally subletting?
Yeah, they're illegally subletting the house, which is a very common thing in this country, and
oh yeah,
there's just thousands of different people doing that, if not millions.
Yeah,
so...
for clarification, we are not illegally subletting now. We are very much legally renting this flat. But...
Yeah, I mean, yeah, until very recently, until we moved in together, I was just renting flats in the same way, just finding different people on the internet, coming to see the flat and just paying 2 weeks in advance and 1 week rent and just paying every weekly. Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of good when you're a student. I mean, specifically about students, renting as a student is very difficult because you need to be able to prove that you are capable of paying rent. Plus, you need to pay agency fee, moving in, like deposit, all of that. It's very difficult to do when you are a student.
Yeah, unless you have a person be able to prove that he can pay your rent in case you can't.
So like a guarantor.
Yeah, a guarantor.
Yeah. Which we thought my parents could be, but since they don't live in the UK, nope.
And I think that's the most common problem when you're trying to find a flat.
Which is usually why like students especially tend to go for like illegal subletting situations.
Yeah, it's either illegal,
easier.
yeah, or student halls because...
Yeah, or that.
Which is still expensive, but at least you don't have to pay 6 months in advance.
Yeah.
Which we have to do.
At the moment, yeah, we're doing that. It's fun. So that was your first flat. Where did you move after that? Because once I stopped living at student halls, I already straight away moved in with you to the first flat that we rented.
After that, I had to move in closer to uni. I moved to a flat, not to a house, and there were 3 more people living, and the landlord. They were all Polish people, so it was fine for me as I'm Polish. It was actually kind of nice because they were all adults, so like 3 adults who have work, who have families,
who clean
after themselves. Yeah, which is like a general rule.
Yeah, that's the pleasure of living with adults. I lived with 18-year-old children, and I was 19, so I was still a child, but I cleaned.
I kind of enjoyed it, but there are also downsides as you don't really have the entire flat for yourself, so it's also awkward to bring some people in. Even though I'm not a party person, but still.
No, I remember whenever I came over, like they definitely assumed I was your girlfriend.
Oh yeah, I mean every time someone's coming to my house, they're probably assuming something.
Yeah, that was.
Because I had a friend and she had to live with me for 10 days because she was waiting for her flat to be approved by agency. And I'm pretty much sure they are thinking this is my girlfriend.
Yeah, so you're cheating on her with me, huh? You dirty pig.
Yeah, with you, then with my friend, and he was just visiting me for a week, so yeah. There were quite many people coming to my house, but we were never hanging out in a living room.
So after that, we moved in together. You regret that?
I mean, that flat was kind of disaster.
Oh yeah, this is the second flat that we are renting together. We first moved into a different flat, which isn't actually that far away.
Just one street.
When we were moving from that flat to this one, we didn't rent a van or a car. We literally just took everything in IKEA bags.
Yeah, because you didn't agree to that.
Well, I didn't want to pay £60, but now that I'm thinking about it, we probably should have, because our muscles hurt for a very long time after that.
Yeah.
And it was just a very painful process in general.
Yeah.
That cupboard still hasn't recovered. Like
that cupboard is just going to trash after we move out of this flat because it's broken.
But we were dragging it across the pavement, and one of the legs of the cupboard is just like, it doesn't have a 90-degree angle anymore. It's kind of like curved.
Yeah, it's
so
just,
that's great.
It just ruined. But also, it took us a week to move all the stuff from our old flat to our new flat.
Yeah, and it's only like what, half a kilometer away, like 500 meters.
Yeah, probably 500 meters. It's not even
like it's a street.
But yeah, it was painful. It was really painful. Literally.
Especially moving the bed. Anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's first talk about how we moved into that flat. So this was the first time we actually legally rented. Well, I stayed in student halls before, which it wasn't exactly renting. It's a little bit of a different process. And you were illegally subletting before.
Yeah.
This was our first experience with an agency, and I mean, I feel like the agency that we went with was kind of shady.
Yeah, it was
like
shady at the best.
Yeah, they felt shady. They felt like they were trying to like rip us off at every point.
Not just rip us off, they were little children. They didn't know what they were actually doing.
Yeah, I don't know. I got a really bad vibe.
Yeah, we have papers, but oh, we forgot this, we don't have that. It's not a normal procedure.
When we were looking for the flat, I was in Russia. When we were moving into the flat, I was in Russia.
Oh yeah. I mean, I had to move in without you, so it was...
Yeah. Not only, like, you had to look for the flat. Well, I helped you with searching for the flat, but you actually had to go for all the viewings, and we video chatted, like you showed me all the rooms and stuff, so that I asked questions, talked to the agents and stuff, so I was sort of still present in the process, but I wasn't physically present.
It was extremely bad because when you're going alone, you have to be aware of each and every single detail which you can just see, which you can actually spot, because when it's two of you, it's obviously better because you have two pairs of eyes. And
like one thing we didn't check was the radiators.
Oh yeah.
Because we were moving in the summer, the radiators didn't work.
Yeah.
At least my one.
Yeah, yours didn't work.
But I'm just saying, like when there's two of you, it's easier to check.
Yeah, you can just check everything, every single piece of equipment, and just go through the contract quicker, because I signed contract with your parents.
My parents were in the country at the time, so they helped Thomas move in. Around a week after you moved in, I moved in. So at least my parents were sort of there to help me with that. Because obviously, I mean, they're adults, they actually know what
they at least
doing.
know the stuff.
Yeah.
They know what
this
to
was
do.
Our first experience doing this, so it was good to have them there, I assume. I mean, I wasn't there.
I mean, yeah, at least I didn't have to deal with the agency so much.
Yeah, my dad grilled them.
Yeah, your dad was just drilling their brains to check and do every single detail according to the protocol.
Well, I mean, good.
Which is kind of fine, but then at the end I felt sorry for the agent.
I stand by my father. I believe that was good.
I was actually happy.
I mean, they were actually
I was actually happy because it was my first experience with agency.
Yeah.
Which is a big problem, because until you actually live somewhere, you can't experience what it is to be there. You don't know what are the problems. You don't know, oh, there's a broken tile, there is something wrong, there is mold, or
there are people who play music at 6 a.m.
Oh yeah, there are people who are playing some documentaries at the top volume at 4 a.m. You never know what's gonna happen, so it's difficult, especially if you're alone and unexperienced in property.
And we were so desperate to find a flat.
Yeah.
Like we so badly wanted to move out of our living situations that we chose probably the worst flat available.
Yeah.
To be fair, it was kind of cheap.
It was, for London and for a second zone to pay £1,000 for a flat, even though it was one-room flat.
People are gonna take that the wrong way, we should clarify that.
Okay, yeah. Basically, every time we were looking for a flat, we were looking for a flat with one room and a living room.
One bedroom and a living room, yeah.
Yeah, so I can actually take a living room.
Yeah, because we are broke students, we can't afford a 2-bedroom flat.
Yeah.
So we ended up renting a 1-bedroom that had a living room, which we then converted into the 2nd bedroom.
Yeah.
So we ended up not having a living room, we just had sort of 2, which is what we have now as well.
I mean, yeah, although this time it's much better.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. Let's first describe how bad the first one was.
Okay. Literally second choice, which you gave me, because as Maria was sending me all the details, she sent me, I think, 3 or 4 flats to contact them.
Yeah.
The first one, it was kind of nice, but the problem was that the kitchen and the living room was basically one room.
So we couldn't really convert it into a separate room.
Yeah, basically you enter the flat, you enter my room and the kitchen. So
which is a pet peeve of mine. Like, why do some agents just not put the floor plan on the listing?
I mean,
That's so
basically,
annoying.
that's why they don't put the plan.
I know, but I hate it so much. Like, you waste our time. We have to go there.
Yeah.
You waste the agent's time because they're not making a sale just to see that the floor plan is like basically crap.
Yeah. I mean,
like I wouldn't have even sent you there to begin with if I had seen the floor plan.
I mean, I was in a situation that I really wanted to move out of that flat, and that flat was so great. Like, it was so new that I was almost there to actually take that flat. Thank God I didn't do that.
Yeah, we would have hated that.
Yeah, until I saw the second one, I understood, like, oh yeah, it's much better when you have at least separate rooms, when you have some...
Like the floor plan in general.
Yeah, you have small... And the third thing I called, they actually responded that, oh, sorry, we already took that thing off the market, so we were... Pretty much, we had only 2 choices.
We didn't really have many options, and we were very, very desperate. So we ended up pretty much like, I remember specifically, like, because you were on the phone with me, you came in and you were like, yeah, we're gonna take it. After like looking around a little bit, you just basically said, yeah, we're gonna take it. Which I don't think they were expecting.
Yeah, they were not expecting, but I knew that at that time, all other flats we were going through, they were either expensive or...
Yeah, we were pretty broke. Well, the flat that we ended up renting was okay. I mean, really, it was better than the situations we were living in, right?
Basically, it's better than to be homeless, but you had so many holes in your windows that you can literally see through them.
And so many spiders crawled in through them.
Oh yeah, I mean, also that. But the problem with windows, the heating...
The heating didn't work. There was mold on the floor and on the ceiling in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Some of the linoleum was like coming off. There was carpeting in the bedroom, which was my room, that was literally ripping off from the floor and coming apart.
Yeah.
The carpeting, I feel like, wasn't changed for at least 20 years. It's probably older than me.
Yeah, it's probably older.
Like, it was just disgusting. Like, I always had to wear my tapachki because I couldn't go barefoot in there. Like, I couldn't.
Yeah, it was really bad.
The walls were disgustingly dirty. Like, we literally had to clean the walls in my room and in your room.
Yeah, but not that.
Like,
there were so many holes.
That as well, yeah.
Like, there were literally holes every, I don't know, 5 centimeters, 10 centimeters.
Yeah.
It was so bad that it looks like, I don't know, maybe there are some spiders just crawling around and eating the walls.
I don't even want to think about that.
Yeah, it was, no, it was okay for a short period of time.
We lived there for 6 months. We would have lived there longer, but
then, on one great day,
we got a text or an email.
Email that we are getting evicted because apparently, the landlord wanted to take the flat back.
They wanted to move to London again so that their child could go to university, which I do not believe that they didn't know that before they let us.
Yeah, I mean, the moment when they came to check the flat, they probably already knew that they're gonna be
100%, because you have to apply to university at least 6 months in advance. I mean, come on.
Usually do that a year before.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's no way they didn't know when they were giving us the apartment. And we specifically agreed with them that we would rent for like a year, maybe 2.
Yeah, we were asking for a long term, but as we are students and we can pay only 6 months in advance.
Yeah, they kicked us out after 6 months.
Yeah. Well,
which we were really pissed about, but my god, was that the best thing that ever happened to us.
I mean, that was probably the best thing which happened that year.
Well, no, I got married that year, so for me that wasn't the best thing.
For me it was the best thing.
But like, wow.
Yeah, I mean, and also we got this flat by accident. Basically, we asked the agent, we saw the flat, which he showed us, which was again, new flat, but the kitchen and living room was one small room, tiny. Your bedroom was also tiny.
And the rent was not tiny.
And the rent was around 1,300, I think, or 14.
No, I think it was less, because right now we pay 1,250, right? I specifically remember that it was less.
My parents think I paid less.
Well, we're not going to show them this video. Because we asked him, do you have any other flats available? And he was like, oh yeah, well we have this one for 1,250. It's a bit higher than what we were looking for.
Oh yeah.
So we didn't originally like even want to agree to that, but we decided we would look at it.
Yeah.
Just to look at it. And it ended up being the best thing that could have happened.
Honestly, like when we first came here, I really liked the planning.
Yeah.
That this time the living room was actually separated by the door.
Oh yeah, we didn't have a door in the first flat. There was just like an arch.
Yeah.
That we ended up putting like a curtain over.
Yeah, there was, when you're entering the flat, you have a curtain to enter my room.
Yeah.
And then there's literally just an arch to the kitchen, which is same as my room. So if someone is frying chicken, my clothes are smelling like chicken. Yeah, it was bad, but this one at least has the door. One of them you can see behind us. It's going to the kitchen. Much better than all the previous
ideally
places.
we would rent a 2-bedroom.
Yeah, where now the flat is so much better than it was before.
Yeah, it's like human living conditions.
Yeah, you have one tap, which is...
Oh, that was a requirement for me. I cannot live in a flat where there are 2 taps for the sink. I cannot. When my husband was here, he was here for 6 months. We basically stayed, 2 of us, in that tiny room, which was very difficult. It definitely put a strain on our marriage for like a little while, just like having to be together all the time. Probably sounds horrible to people who are not in relationships.
I mean, it's reality. It's really difficult to stay in one room with a person
especially
for a
because
long time.
I work from home a lot, and he didn't have a job while he was here because he couldn't. So we were basically at home most of the time. It was very difficult to do that. Plus, for 3 people, this flat is quite crowded.
Yeah, I mean, for 3 people, this flat is...
Ideally, when my husband comes back, we would move to a different flat.
Yeah, at least with 2 separate rooms.
Yeah. And for anyone interested why my husband doesn't live with me anymore, recently did a video, which you can find in the card and in the description. So yeah, I guess that's it. That's all we wanted to talk about today. The video too long.
Yeah, the video is way too long.
Too long. Anyway, if you want to see more of Thomas, we're gonna do another video soon about some other stuff. Yeah. I don't know how to end it.
Just end it like this. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba.
Okay, that's good. Honestly, to be honest, just leave